Okay, so what you see in front of you are some highlighted numbers. And these numbers are special because they were created by having one number multiplied by itself. For example, 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, 4 multiplied by 4 is 16, and so on and so on. So in other words, if you look at this one, 6 multiplied by 6 is 36. Basically, all we're doing is we're squaring numbers. So 6 squared is really 6 multiplied by 6, which is 36. Okay, now when you see a sign like this is the square root sign. And what this sign is basically saying is, it's saying for you to find out that one number that was multiplied by itself to get this number here. So what we need to do now is find the number 36 in our multiplication table, but find it by having that one number multiplied by itself. So for example, if we look at this 36 here, the one I'm circling, we can see that this was created by having 6 multiplied by itself to get 36. So again, the square root is asking us to find that one number that was multiplied by itself to get this number. And we found 36, and we can see here that this 36 that I'm circling was multiplied by the number 6, and again by the number 6. So in other words, it was multiplied by itself. So the square root of 36 equals 6. Okay, now what happens if we have a question that looks like this? So we've got the square root of 0.36. Now over here we have some steps to follow to find the answer to this question. So step 1 is ignore decimals and find square root. So we disregard this decimal point. We look for the number 36 in our multiplication table, making sure that that number was multiplied by itself. So for example, over here we can see that there's a number 36, but this was 3 multiplied by 12 that gives us 36. So you can see that 3 and 12 are different numbers, right? So that's not what we want. We want that one number that was multiplied by itself to get 36, and we know that one number is 6. 6 multiplied by 6 gives us 36. So we found the square root, which is 6. Okay, so now step 2 is count the decimals in the original question. Now this is the original question here, and we can see that there's 2 decimals here, 1 and 2, right? So we've got 2 decimals, and we need to halve this. So half of 2 is 1. Okay, so we've done step 3 now. We've halved the number of decimals, which is now 1. And step 4 is start jumping from right to left according to the number of decimals we found in step 3. So we found in step 3 that we have to jump once, because 2, the half of 2 decimals is 1. So now we jump from right to left, so right is over here, and then we jump left. And we only do that once. So let's do that. So we start from the right and we jump to the left, and we stop there, and that's where we put our decimal. Okay, so our answer for this question will look like this. So let's do another question. Here we have the square root of 0.09. Step 1, ignore decimals and find square root. So we ignore these decimals here and we find the square root of 9. So we know, because we've highlighted them, these are all the squared numbers. All these numbers were created by having the same number multiplied by itself. I can see a number 9 here. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. So that one number that was multiplied by itself to get 9 is 3. So I know that the square root of 9 equals 3. So the next step is count decimals in original question. So I can see that there's 2 decimals here. Okay, 1, 2. Step 3 is halve it. So half of 2 is 1. Step 4, start jumping from right to left according to the number of decimals we found in step 3. So 1 decimal place, so we start from the left, from the right, and then we jump left. So we'll do that. We start from the right and we jump left once, and that's where we put our decimal. So our final answer will look like 0.3. So the square root of 0.09 is 0.3. Okay, so let's do one more question. Here we are asked to find the square root of 0.0049. Step 1, ignore decimals and find square root. So we ignore all these decimals here and we just focus on the number 49. So we look at our multiplication table. Remember, all these highlighted numbers are squared numbers. Basically, these numbers are numbers where they were created by having one number multiplied by itself. So we look at the number 49 here, and we can see that 7 multiplied by 7 equals 49. So that one number that was multiplied by itself was the number 7. Okay, so we've done step 1. Step 2 is count the decimals in the original question. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 decimals. Step 3 is halve it. So half of 4 is 2. Step 4, start jumping from right to left. So from right to left. Okay, so we're going to jump twice because remember we counted 4 decimals and we halve it, which is 2, and now we start jumping from right to left. So we're going to jump twice. So we start over here, we jump once, and then again twice. And this is where we put our decimal. Now we put a 0 underneath the little bridge there. So now our final answer will look like 0.07. Okay, so once again we have a mini test. So I want you to try these questions and we can see what you got in class.